engineer at CamLogic. Today's Tech Tuesday is our free weekly 30-minute tips and tricks webinar. Today's topic is frame design. Let's talk a little bit first about who is CamLogic. CamLogic is a leading provider of product lifecycle management PLM solutions, 3D scanning, and rapid prototyping technologies and services to help companies design and build better products, improve processes, reduce costs, and of course maximizing profitability. At CamLogic, we provide unparalleled 3D engineering technological solutions along with services and support to ensure our clients' success. Those including 3D scanning, CAD/CAM, and 3D printing solutions. CamLogic is the Siemens PLM solution partner. We offer the complete Siemens software suite including NX, Solid Edge, FEMAP, and Teamcenter. We also provide a complete array of 3D printing hardware and services solutions including 3D Systems Project Series and the Z Printer Series, which being the most affordable color 3D printers on the market. '3D scanning technologies rounds out the trifecta of engineering solutions from state-of-the-art hardware like Romir Absolute Arm, Shape Grabber, and Z Scanner, and cutting-edge time-saving inspection and reverse engineering software products from GeoMagic and RapidForm. CamLogic is here to provide a variety of solutions to meet your business challenges. We also offer professional, high-quality, in-house scanning services. Again, today's lesson, we're going to go ahead and look at some frame design. Let's take a quick minute to talk about that, though. Been working with my customers a little bit out there in the field, and notice that some of the customer base is still creating frames by doing parts and modeling the parts, then going in and assembling and welding those parts up to produce a frame. Well, maybe some of you may not be aware of this, but there is a frame design module built into Solid Edge. It's available through Solid Edge Classic, and it resides in the assembly environment. So just a matter of going into the frame design and creating the frames, manipulating them, and then producing drawings from them, including cut sheets. So let's go ahead and look on the list here. Today's lesson is going to include frame creation, applying welds to a frame, creating a drawing of that frame with the welds and everything included, and then of course after producing that drawing, creating a part list that would describe all aspects of the frame along with some cut lengths, or if you will, a cut sheet included. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the Solid Edge environment. First thing I want to point out really quick is you'll see here I'm in the assembly environment. Again, this is where the frame module resides. So if I go over here to my Tools tab, you'll see there's Express Route, Harness, and Frame. Frame is available through Classic. Harness and Express Route is an add-on, but just showing you guys where that's located. So now I've came into my frame environment, and you can see that my ribbon bar's changed up a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and utilize that. Now the first thing that we need to do anytime we're creating a frame is we're going to come in, and there's a couple different ways you can do this. First I'm going to show you the way of just going in and sketching. Okay, so I go in and I grab my sketch command, and now I can come down and begin sketching just like I normally would in any environment within Solid Edge. In this case, I'm going to do a rectangle by center. Up here on my command bar, you can see I can establish some finite values that would define the size of the frame. So just going through, again, tabbing through each selection, I can then create a rectangle by center. You can see that I went ahead and applied all of my relationships and everything constraining my rectangle exactly the way how I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that sketch, and so now I'm left with a sketch that's going to begin defining my frame. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the frame command, and you can see that as soon as you select it, it pops up this nice little dialog box with some frame options. This is great. Now we can go ahead and look to applying some corner treatments. In this case, it's a mitered edge. You also have a butt edge, and then butt two, again going from the inside or the outside of the frame structure. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab the mitered edge, hit OK, and now at this point we have our command bar comes up. Again, we can always go back into those frame options if we change our mind, or we can continue to move through the workflow of the command bar. The next step is going to be selecting the path step. So I'm going to go ahead and switch mine over to a chain. Turns out for the square tubing, I want to use a 2x2 with a 038 wall thickness. So I'll go ahead and grab that sketch, and you can see it all selected because I was under the chain, accept, and you can see quickly and easily I created that frame, mitered edges, everything on size to the way how I wanted to produce that. I'm going to roll that around a little bit for you, kind of let you see it is a complete frame. The next thing I want to show you, see how the command bar didn't go away? Let's go ahead and we're going to go into the next step, which is modify the cross section. This is a really important step. The frame is currently driven off of a snap point that was selected. What I want to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a quick right click after selecting the modify cross section step, and now by defining the handle point, you can see that it gives me a number of points that I can choose from. By simply going in and selecting one of these points, again I'm going to grab the center point. Now you can see that that bumped my frame out so that the section or the sketch is on the center of the cross section. If I found that perhaps maybe that's not what I was exactly looking for, I'd go grab this snap point. Okay, now my sketch is actually the inside opening of the frame. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep that because that's what I was hoping to achieve there. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is now create another piece of this frame that's going to utilize the line segment and the manual sketching option in the frame environment. You can see here it pops up this dialog box that gives you some shortcut key cuts. Gives you the opportunity to utilize your keyboard to move through the command a little bit. So to begin with, I'm creating a frame. One thing I'm creating a sketch. One thing I want to point out is that we have this this coordinate system over here that's going to allow us to, when we begin sketching, I'm going to go up and grab some key points. I'm going to select all so I can make sure I can get everything I want. So in this case, I'm going to grab the center of that sketch that I already had utilizing my key points, grab the direction. You can see that now I'm moving strictly in the Y, and it aligns without moving around on me at all. And we keep that direction just like that. Okay, so at that point, okay, come up and grab my select tool, wrap up the command. So now I can go ahead back to my frame command. Again, pops up the dialog box. Now I can select that, and it will go ahead and produce a piece of frame. Now, one thing that I kind of did that on purpose. So one thing I want to do is I want to come back to the select step. I want to keep that selected, but I want a different size frame. Now I want a 1x1. And yeah, that's okay, and it'll update it to a 1x1. Now I can come back, verify my snap point for my cross section. In this case, I want it on center. So now we have our cross member in. We have a frame created. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to close and return out of the frame environment because I'm comfortable with the frame I've created this far. The next thing I need to do is on my tools tab, you can see here Weldman assembly. I can go in and tell Solid Edge, hey, yep, this is a Weldman assembly, and now I can begin looking to apply some welds to my frame. Okay, so if I come into my features tab, I can then grab a fillet weld, and you can see here that it pulls up this nice dialog box, lets you go ahead and put in the setting. I've already defaulted mine to a 1/4 inch weld bead, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Now I'm going to just briefly go through this. So I'm going to accept the cross member, okay, and then I'm going to go in and select the 2 sides that I want the weld to reside on. So once I get those selected, I preview, you can see it pops the weld bead in there nice and neat, and that's all set. Okay, we'll rotate that around a little bit so you can see both sides. Alrighty, now we can go ahead, and you might be asking yourself, well, that's great, what if I had to go in and edit that frame? Well, you can see I can go back in and edit the sketch just like I would anywhere else in Solid Edge. I'm going to go to the profile, and we'll go ahead and we'll put some dimensions on here. So the first thing I'll do is I'll select this sketch dimension, and maybe we'll go 15. Okay. Now once I accept that, it's going to pop me back into my frame, and you can see it went ahead and updated that for me. Keeping the weld, keeping cross member, and just updating that outside frame. So all of these items are associated to each other and will update together. Now maybe in this case I want to go ahead and knock that up to 20, and you can see that once I finish there, now it has updated that as well, now in the opposite direction. So you can see that, you know, once you create the frame, you can edit the frame, you can go through it, and it's all associated to one another. The geometry's working together, and again, making frame creation quick and easy. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we can come up here and create a drawing. Oh, yeah, the first thing we need to do is save, guys. So don't forget that. So we'll call this frame 1. All right, yeah, that's fine. All right, so now we're going to come in and we'll create a drawing. Now, the first thing I want to do is let's go back and do that again. Maybe some of you are aware or not aware that you can go in and you can right-click in your feature tree on your assembly and then just come down to the Create Drawing, and it'll automatically put you into a dialog box that allows you to create a drawing. Now, right now I'm defaulted to a quick sheet that I created, but I can also browse and go into the interface that will allow me to pick whatever I need through all of my templates, my quick sheets, so on and so forth. And in this case, because I'm creating a quick sheet, I'm not going to run the drawing view creation wizard because it's automatically going to populate my drawing views for me as soon as I hit OK. So it takes a quick second, but now you can see here's our frame, and we're in a quick sheet environment. So we're in a draft, and we also have a nice parts list here that I produced prior to, but you can see it has item number, file name, and an extension, title, material, quantity, cut length. Real quick, I'm just going to hop in here and do a properties. If any of you out there are not using the part list, it's a very powerful tool, and it allows you to include a number of different fields that will automatically generate and populate in the draft environment for you. And going through the options box, I just want to show you guys really quick that you can see these are a lot of the properties that come in standard to solid edge that are driven by property text that you can go ahead and include into your part list. You can see the ones that I chose again are up here, but you know, for instance, if there was a situation where maybe I want to put should already have quantity up there. Maybe if we want to put document number up there, all we have to do is just add the column. And then if we didn't want the document number up there, we could go ahead and delete the column. So just a quick look at that so you guys can see that. And another thing I want to point out is you can also see in here that within the parts list we also have some asterisks next to the item numbers. That's because they're not ballooned. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to balloon these guys up, and you'll see that when I begin creating these balloons, you can see that the balloon is separated for item number and quantity. So I got, we'll start over here on 1. So on 1 I have 2 pieces, which will be these 2, and then on 2 I have these 2 pieces, and then there's only 1 over here, which would be the third member. So now I can come in and I will click the Update Views button, and let's go ahead and take a closer look at our part list. Well, you can see now those asterisks are gone. So now the parts list is telling us, okay, we have everything we need, all the information is automatically populated, everything's ballooned, everything's looking good. Another quick thing I want to show you about the part list is that simply by clicking on it, you can move it around and, you know, again, customize its appearance and move each field around. And you know, if you find that it's becoming too jumbled or there's multiple lines, this can eliminate a lot of those issues. For instance, you can see there everything has 2 lines of text. You know, if I move it out a little bit, everything kind of cleans up. Everything's on a single line. Okay, so now that we have the frame created, we got a drawing and everything, I'm going to go ahead and dump back into that frame environment. And what I want to show you is that we can go ahead and from that we can begin adding more frame geometry. So I'm going to go back into my frame environment, and I'm going to begin creating some main sketching. So the first thing I need to do is I want to go to the midpoint on the frame. So I'm going to select mine, and I'm going to come down to my coordinate system, pick my direction. I'm going to go ahead and set that up right. I'm going to go in and do it a couple more times. We'll go to all on the key points. And one thing I want to show you is that you can select your direction and then select a point, and it'll snap utilizing missing geometry. And we're going to go ahead, we'll do it 2 more times here really quick. We'll let our line in. Last one. So we'll select that. And now if we come over to the frame, we'll hit OK. I'm going to go back to my 2x2 and select each of these. Come up and accept. And again, you can see that it produced the uprights, and all we have to do is come on in here real quick, and then we can go ahead and put all those on. Finish that. Okay out of that. Okay, so now we've gone back now using the existing frame geometry, actual solid geometry that was created, and went in and put set of uprights in there, getting that all taken care of. Alright, so now I'm going to save that out. And make sure that's saved. Alright, so now we go back into our drawing view, and you can see it's showing us that it's out of date. We're all used to seeing that. So when we update the views, I just want to show you guys that you can go back in and continue modifying the frame. We got our uprights in there now. We want to move our balloons around a little bit here. A couple of them are in the way now. But now our part list is also updated, and you can see that we have item number 5, which is the 4 uprights. It gives you the cut length, and we're again on a 2x2 083 wall thickness square tubing. And so we can just come up, put a balloon on it. Alright, go ahead and put a balloon on that upright. And you can see that now we have a complete frame with a part list. We're on a quick sheet. Pretty well complete. So I'm going to go ahead and save that drawing. And that will that'll complete our frame and the drawing with all the information that we hope to have. So let's talk a little bit about what we did here today. We created a frame. We applied welds to the frame. We edited them for size, again, maintaining all the association within the frame environment. And we created a drawing of the frame. We also even went back and added to the frame, came back and saw all of the relationships, update on the drawing view itself is with the part list. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about training here. At CamLogic, we offer a large variety of hands-on instruction-intensive courses for users at every level. Training is available at the on-site location of your choice or at one of our training labs located throughout the Midwest. For more information or to register, please visit our website, www.camlogic.com. And you can see there on the slide that we have a Solid Edge Essentials class coming up June 18th through the 25th. We'd love to hear from you guys and see if there's anyone that would be interested in attending our 5-day Essentials class. Replays and other videos are uploaded to YouTube. It's about a 24-hour turnaround, and then we get that posted up on YouTube. So if you ever want to revisit this lesson or take some extra time with it, maybe review exactly some of the things I did, you can feel free to try and look that up on YouTube. Again, about 24 hours it should be up. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me or email me at any time. Be sure to visit our website. We can also be found on LinkedIn, Blogger, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And again, you can see my number on the slide, 248-969-9201, extension 6209. And then again, my email, joshp@camlogic.com. This concludes today's edition of Tech Tuesday. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day.